Hello there, good evening. Welcome to ITV News. This is Friday night's calendar.
Thanks for your company, and here are tonight's main stories.
Medical miracle, the incredible change in just 2 days after groundbreaking treatment for Parkinson's from our region's top experts.
I'm happy. I'm loving life at the moment, and I'm actually getting back to the sports that I used to do, walking and the hiking, and jumped on my daughter's mountain bike last week, and that was amazing as well. So it's just getting better and better.
It's out of order how secondary ticket sales are costing Yorkshire music fans millions. But can anything be done to stop it?
From pole to pole and back home again, a very special globe-trotting guest drops into the studio.
Hello, it's Michael Palin. Join me on Calendar, where I'll be telling you why I'm in Yorkshire again, thankfully.
And this message reads, John Baldwin, would you do me the honour of becoming my beloved wife?
And will you take him as your husband? A wedding proposal at Barnsley's Oakwell. But did the Sheffield Wednesday fans say yes? Well, first tonight to the so-called miracle drug and the groundbreaking medical team from our region, which has transformed the life of a 52-year-old Parkinson's patient.
Damien Gath was finding everyday tasks a struggle until he became the first person in the UK to receive the new infusion therapy in Mansfield. And just 2 days later, his symptoms had almost disappeared.
Today, he says he's happy, loving life, and even returning to sports he once loved. Sarah Clark has this incredible story.
For Damien Gath, the simple task of making a cup of tea was near impossible due to his shaking and stiff muscles. Hard to believe this is just 2 days later, after starting his new infusion treatment for his Parkinson's disease.
To go from the pain and discomfort and the cloudy, foggy head, the ability not to think straight, to be open-minded, clear-headed.
You're definitely quicker than I would have been.
And now, 3 months on, he's improved so much, there's no stopping him. Even go-karting is a new hobby, and a new job is on the horizon.
I'm happy. I'm loving life at the moment, and I'm actually getting back to the sports that I used to do, walking and the hiking, and I jumped on my daughter's mountain bike last week, and that was amazing as well. So yeah, the 3 months down the line, it's just getting better and better.
I don't think we ever expected that the change would be so big. I think we were hopeful, but yeah, I mean, to see how bad he had got prior to this new treatment, it was so dramatic, the change.
His medication is called Produodopa, which uses a small portable pump to deliver a continuous dose, ensuring his brain has the right amount of dopamine, which improves his body functions.
I had a lot of side effects and a lot of intolerances to all the current medication. So literally, up until this new medication and treatment, I'd virtually run out of all other possible avenues. So my life was getting more difficult and more tough.
It's at the Mansfield Community Centre where he sees consultant Dr. Silver. His father died from the disease and is so devoted to help improving the lives of others, which is why he chose this new therapy for Damien.
I would say that he would be on the treatment reasonably well, definitely over 5 years. And then, beyond that, we may need some adjustments. And I think overall, up to 10 years, he should be fine.
We've had people, family members, contacting about relatives that they have with Parkinson's that are at fairly advanced stages, that are struggling, wanting to hear and know more about it. It's given us huge hope, and for anybody else that has the opportunity to have the treatment would be amazing.
It's believed 1,000 UK patients will receive the treatment, which has improved Damien's life so much. Sarah Clark, ITV News.
Absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Story.
Yeah, we wish Damien and his family all the best for the future, which obviously looks very bright now.
It certainly does indeed. Now, some more of the day's news. And a West Yorkshire police officer has appeared in court in Bradford charged with raping a woman while off duty. PC Joe Lavender, who's 42 and from Castleford, was suspended by the force after it launched an investigation into the alleged incident earlier this year.
Our reporter Jonathan Brown is outside their Elland Road headquarters in Leeds for us. So, Jonathan, what do we know about the allegations?
Well, Laura, we do know that Police Constable Joe Lavender was based here professionally in Leeds, but that this alleged incident did not take place whilst he was at work. The 42-year-old, who you can see here wearing a black hat whilst he was leaving Bradford Magistrates Court this morning, has been charged with a single count of rape. That relates to an offence allegedly committed against a female over the age of 16 in Castleford on January the 21st this year. Now, we understand that West Yorkshire Police suspended Lavender from duty after its Professional Standards Department launched its own investigation into those allegations earlier this year. That suspension remains in place.
And Jonathan, you were at the court hearing earlier. What was said there?
Well, Michael, it was only a short hearing at Bradford Magistrates Court this morning. Lavender stood in the dock wearing a black shirt and purple tie. He spoke to confirm his name, age and address, and he also indicated that he will plead not guilty to that single charge of rape. He was given conditional bail by the magistrates at Bradford Magistrates Court, and they sent the case to Bradford Crown Court, where it will next be heard. Lavender will appear there on November the 1st for a plea and trial preparation hearing.
OK, Jonathan Brown reporting from Elland Road in Leeds. Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Friday Night's Calendar with Michael Billington and Lara Rostron.
Yes, thanks for being with us. Still to come this evening.
Today it was all about the low clouds sitting in the vales and valleys this morning after a chilly start, and then plenty of sunshine. But where does that leave us for the weekend? All the detail a little later on.
And join me later on Calendar when Michael Palin, i.e. me, will be telling you why I'm in Yorkshire again, land of my birth.
Now, tickets for music gigs to see Oasis and Coldplay have been selling like hotcakes recently, and unsurprisingly, they're going for a huge amount of money.
In fact, resale prices for Coldplay in Hull are as high as £3,000 each. But can touts actually be stopped from buying up large amounts of seats and selling them on at inflated prices?
Well, MPs certainly think so, and are looking at changing the rules on sales for big events, as James Webster reports.
When Oasis superfan Anthony Lanny knocked on Liam Gallagher's door, aged just 15, the musician gave him this platinum disc. But his dream of seeing Oasis on their new tour vanished the moment tickets went on sale.
Me and my friends came up with a plan for the Saturday morning to all get on multiple devices. We just kept getting random error messages. The thing was saying that we were bots. It was just impossible. And by the time we kind of got into any queues, it was like 250,000 strong. So yeah, we knew we didn't really stand a chance.
And sometimes that queue is made up of secondary sellers snapping up the best seats to sell on at a higher price. Ticket touts cost fans an extra £145 million a year, according to recent research. In Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire, cases of ticket fraud reported to police increased by 14% last year. Then there's the issue of dynamic pricing, where the cost goes up when only a few tickets remain, something this Oasis fan from Sheffield experienced.
I've never seen Oasis before, and it was just really, really upsetting, and now I just feel like I'm in a position where I still want to go and see them, but there's so many unfortunate people out there that are trying to resell their tickets at ridiculous prices.
There's a land grab with ticket touts that are then selling them for sometimes 30 times the price of the ticket. People are seeing there's a quick buck to be made at the expense of music fans then not being able to go and see these shows, and the artists then maybe not, you know, having their music fans at their shows.
Reg Walker works with promoters to prevent secondary sellers buying up tickets.
You think you're at the front of the queue, and then all of a sudden, vast numbers of touts, not just from the UK but from overseas as well, using advanced software, queue jump. So if you were stood outside that box office, it's the equivalent of about 100,000 people pushing in front of you.
When Taylor Swift played her concerts this year, it's estimated the UK economy benefited to the tune of £1 billion. Any new laws will be designed to make sure ticket touts aren't also siphoning off even more money from fans. James Webster, ITV News.
We'll have to see what happens. Now, time for some sport, and a tough tie for Leeds United.
Xero Accounting Software. Sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Yes, the Whites face something of an injury crisis ahead of their trip to Sunderland in the Championship tonight. On Tuesday night, Bulgarian midfielder Ilya Gruev limped off with a knee injury at Norwich. It's since been revealed he'll need an operation and will be on the sidelines for a good few months. Leeds are also without captain Ethan Ampadu until the new year after he was injured last weekend. Not ideal preparations for tonight's game against the current league leaders.
Yeah, especially in these times when you don't have all the key players perhaps available. It's a bit more about sticking together and creating a big unity within the squad and fight together. And once we are together and spirited again, then we have also a chance to win the next points, and this is what we want to do.
Now, it's fair to say that it's been a pretty wretched year for our region's men's rugby Super League teams. Not one of them made it through to the end of season playoffs.
No, but thank heavens for the women, eh? They're flying the flag. On Sunday, York Valkyrie are aiming to defend their Super League title, but it certainly won't be easy. Chris Dawkes explains.
Champions in training, York Valkyrie preparing to defend the title they won this time last year. But standing in their way, a St Helens team who've already won the Challenge Cup this year and have designs on stealing York's crown.
Would this be the biggest win of your career, do you think? The best win?
Yeah, it'd be the best one. Yeah, it'd be the best one. Just because, you know, we've got that many players missing, that many players out of position. You know, should we do it, you will see the emotion on these girls of what it means to them. So we're just really looking forward to it.
Months really since coming back, and there's been times when I thought, I just don't know if I'm cut out for it to play at this level anymore, and I've really had to box off the little small wins as I've gone into it, but I've managed to get into form now, and I feel like I'm doing my bit for the team and adding value. And then
now the chance for these players to win a second successive grand final is huge, but for one of them this match will take on added significance. England international Ebony Partington left Sunday's opponent St Helens to sign for York last year.
Would it mean more to you to beat St Helens?
Yes. As much as I love them as players, but I've never actually played in a grand final. So yeah, look forward to it. And this is my team now, and you know I love it here. So I want to put a performance on for this set of girls and for myself.
There's no question these players will need to be at their very best if they're to retain their title. But as the only team to beat Saints this season, the Valkyrie have already shown they're made of tough stuff. Chris Dawkes, ITV News, York.
Oh, good luck to the Valkyrie. Let's see if the women can show the men how to do it. Yeah. Now, for something completely different. He started out life in Sheffield, but forged a career as a founding member of Monty Python, a writer and an intrepid traveller.
Oh yes, he's amazing. Michael Palin is back on the road touring regional theatres with his new show. The There and Back tour is based on his latest published diary, volume 4 of his life and times,
yes,
no less.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's got plenty to write about, hasn't he? He dropped in earlier today and told me that at 81 years young, he's almost as busy as ever.
Yeah, I'm doing a tour at the moment to promote the diaries, which means I go around the country. But I've ended up doing two of our 15 gigs in Yorkshire, York last night and Bradford tonight. So it's always nice to be in Yorkshire. And I've done Yorkshire, I've done Calendar many times when I've been working up here.
You must surely be the world's most travelled Yorkshireman. I mean, you know, you've been absolutely everywhere.
Oh, well, that's Captain Cook. Don't forget. He's
Okay.
just absolutely amazing. But yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate, very lucky, and not a day goes by when I don't give great thanks that I've been able to see things like the Victoria Falls, the North Pole, the South Pole, that, you know, were just, when I was in Sheffield, they were in books and magazines. I thought, I'll never go there. You know, there are lots of places on the planet which are quite tough, and the people there, you get a certain feeling and a buzz from them, which I get from coming back to Yorkshire. There's a kind of identity. I mean, although we're all Englishmen or Britons or something like that, the fact of being a Yorkshireman is very much like you find people feel in different parts of the world. It's almost, I say, like a tribal identity.
Do you get a sense of that when you're on stage? Of course, you played York last night, you're in Bradford this evening.
Oh yes, I mean I wouldn't get a laugh about Geoffrey Boycott if I was down in Bournemouth, but here you get a bit of a titter.
How do you feel about returning to Chesterfield as well? I suppose it's the closest in this tour to being a sort of a homecoming.
Yes, yes. So I'm not playing Sheffield. I think we're too late to get a theatre there, but going to Chesterfield, which is fine. I mean, that whole area, I would say, around the Peak District, was somewhere which stimulated my love of travelling when I was growing up in Sheffield. I mean, going on tours into Derbyshire and all that. I think that was very, very important because I loved just getting away from home for 2 or 3 hours into this spectacular countryside. It's what I do now. I get away from home and I go around the world. So thank you, Sheffield.
Yeah, well, when you're back on stage here in the north, do you get heckled by people shouting phrases from the Four Yorkshiremen sketch?
We don't have any hecklers. They get dealt with very, very quickly. We have a crane that extracts us from the audience, pulps them up. No, yeah, people like the Four Yorkshiremen sketch. Of course, I was the only Yorkshireman in that sketch. There are things like that, you know, which just people will always remember. You were lucky, you know, we lived in Paperbag at Midlet Road. All that.
I'm curious to know how you came to have 2 trains and an asteroid named after you.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird. That's part of Python invading my own life. The asteroid was for Americans. People who name asteroids in America know where the asteroids are. A lot of them were Python fans, like all the early sort of tech giants in San Francisco were all Python fans. In fact, Spam, that we all have on our phones, came from the Spam sketch. So, you know, I think that was that. And the trains, yes, it was, I mean, one of them, I'm only on one now. One was the train up to Sheffield, but Virgin lost the licence there, so all we've got is a nameplate left, sadly, in the office. But there's another one which goes from Ipswich to Lowestoft, and I'm in one of the East Coast Heroes line, along with people like Herod the Wake and Alf Ramsey and Delia Smith. So I sometimes get a mild laugh by telling people I've been sitting on Delia Smith since I left Ipswich.
Well, surely you know you've made it when your name is on the side of a train.
Yeah, yeah. That and when you're thought to be dead. There was a wonderful thing from a newspaper in Toronto saying, I heard last year that Michael Palin had died. Is this true? So I asked Cleese about it and he said, well, he would have heard about it. So probably not.
Well, we all know better than that, and you're clearly still going strong.
Thank you. Yeah, I am, yeah.
What a wonderful man he is.
I mean, I expected nothing less, but he was a genuinely lovely man.
Yeah. Right, OK, how do we beat that? Well, we've got an aspiring photographer from Harrogate who has a rare form of cancer and has described her experience as mind-blowing and rather unexpected when she met the Prince and Princess of Wales. 16-year-old Liz Hatton was diagnosed with desmoplastic small round cell tumour in January, and this week she was invited by William to take pictures at an investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle. The big day has now gone global after this touching moment was caught on camera. Came less than a month after Kate confirmed she had completed her chemotherapy following her own cancer diagnosis.
We were told that the Prince would say a quick hello, and I presume that would just be like, as I was taking a photo of him down the hallway, like a hi type thing. No, I wasn't even expecting to be in a room with him and my family, like that's it. Like, that was beyond anything I would have imagined. We spoke a lot about photography and things like that, and they were really good, as well as including my little brother Matteo, who's 8, and so even he was talking to both of them as well, and he's really shy.
To meet them both and get that time to just talk to them about kind of normal life things was just really special and really lovely, and something that we'll remember forever.
What an incredible moment. Well, there's more on Liz's remarkable day at Windsor Castle on our website, where Liz and Vicky have also been chatting to our royal editor Chris Shipp about her photography bucket list.
Wonderful photograph. Really memorable.
Talking of photo bucket lists.
Oh, it was a beautiful opportunity this morning for a cold, misty, murky, peaceful start, and of course didn't disappoint, did you? So this was taken by John Victor. You can see in the distance there of this photograph the low-lying mist and fog across the Wharfe Valley first thing this morning, and it was about 3 or 4 degrees probably for John. This is Helen shot from her farm first thing this morning. Absolutely beautiful. She said Maud was inquisitive there with her brown face, and I absolutely love this one from David. If you notice, there's a bit of a window in the right-hand corner, and this is his view from his toilet, he said. There you go.
Not bad, is it?
A loo with a view. Absolutely better. It does not look like that outside my bathroom window, I can tell you that. Now, as we head into the weekend, a lot of talk in the press at the moment about a storm coming with snow next week and gales. We need to get there first. We've got low pressure coming in during the weekend. It might give us some heavy thundery downpours by the very end of the weekend, but actually high pressure holding on for tomorrow. Is this area of low pressure that is likely to become Hurricane Kirk in the Atlantic during the course of the weekend? And there's 2 scenarios basically. So what I'm saying is watch this space. We don't really know, but it could be quite stormy.
OK, full details at the end of the programme.
Of course.
Thank you. Now, if you were watching last night, you'll have seen the moment Rose the dog was rescued by a team of volunteers a full 7 days after she slipped into a crevice in rocks near Halifax.
Go on, Ben. Get up, Ben.
The Jack Russell Cross was pulled to safety yesterday after days of digging down through rocks in Mixenden. Well, we have a lovely update for you. Here Rose is tucked up in bed with her owner Logan, getting some well-earned rest.
Oh, don't they both look so peaceful?
Don't they just, yeah.
OK, well, a story for the romantics among us. If you think you've found your Mr. or Mrs. Right, it can be tricky to know just when and where to pop the question.
Yes, well, Chris Poskett knew he'd found his Mrs. Right, his partner Joanne, and also knew where to propose in the stands of his beloved Barnsley Football Club, where he's been cheering on his team for decades.
The only snag is Joanne is a fan of one of Barnsley's South Yorkshire rivals. So would she say yes? John Hill takes up the story.
Barnsley and visitors Stockport take to the field at Oakwell before a bumper crowd of almost 15,000. Within minutes, the Reds are ahead, thanks to a penalty. But in the stands, there's drama of a different kind. A secret plot hatched between love suitor Chris Poskett, the club, and the stadium announcer.
And this message reads, Joanne Baldwin, would you do me the honour of becoming my beloved wife?
Chris's girlfriend Joanne is deaf, so only catches her name and nothing else on the public address system. It's a good job then that Chris asks Joanne in person, so she can lip read just what he's on about. And Chris and Joanne have now been back to the scene of last Saturday's proposal.
How do you feel?
Surprised, shocked, everything really. But I wasn't expecting it at all.
You surprised her, Chris?
Certainly did, and she's going to make me a very happy man.
They've been together for 2 years, but Chris was nudged into popping the question by their mutual workmates at Barnsley Council, who reckoned Joanne would say yes.
As time went by, I thought they might be right there. Maybe Joanne's waiting for me to propose. So that's when I set it in motion to come here to my very own theatre of dreams at Oakwell. And it is a special place.
Now here's the thing, Joanne. You're actually a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
You wasn't supposed to mention that. Yes, I am a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Proposed at Barnsley, at Oakwell.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody.
You should have turned him down.
Well, these people watching, I don't think so.
Chris and Joanne must now decide on a venue for the big day itself. No matter where, surely everyone will be cheering on this happy couple. John Hill, ITV News, Barnsley.
Oh, he met the woman of his dreams at his theatre of dreams.
He did.
How romantic.
Congratulations to them both. Let's go to Kerry with the weather.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again, and thanks again for those fantastic photos of this morning's sunrise and that beautiful temperature inversion like this one at Upper Heaton in Huddersfield from Brenda, and this beautiful one of Baslow Edge in the Peak District from Simon. Weather photos at itv.com. And after that low cloud, mist and fog, some really decent sunny spells for most of us for much of the day. There is this weather front to the northwest. It is going to approach or encroach western parts as we head through into tonight. So compared to last night, a little bit more in the way of cloud and a slightly elevated chance of a shower over the Pennines and more likely the Dales. But for most of us, for much of the night, it will once more be dry with clear spells, not quite as chilly as last night, but certainly into the single figures for all. We've just got a little bit of a fresher breeze pushing in, but from that mild southerly direction. There are your sun times as we head into tomorrow, 7:16 and 6:31. Again, tomorrow is the better day of the weekend. One or two mist and fog patches perhaps, but very isolated tomorrow morning. And it's still a chilly enough start, but plenty of sunshine. Into the afternoon, patchy cloud, bright and breezy, but the air is coming from a mild southerly direction, so 16 or 17 Celsius. So in shelter from that breeze, it won't feel too bad at all. The winds will pick up as we head into Saturday night, so quite gusty out towards the coast and over the mountain tops. And then this weather system just waits in the west really as we head through into Sunday. So it generates a little bit of cloud, eastern parts getting the best of the sunshine, then probably something a bit more significant by the end of Sunday, a respite Monday, but unsettled towards midweek.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
And just before you go and start your weekend, we're in for a bit of a treat, aren't we?
Yeah, as good as our chance in May of seeing the aurora this weekend, Saturday, earlier rather than late.
Right then, get your cameras out. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later on.
Bye from all of us.
Bye.